All right, what's up everybody? How we doing today? We got a little quick one here. I'm gonna try to get a video out. Miss Mia's gotta go get some kids from practice and stuff. Here's what we got going on. I just planted French breakfast radish, Detroit dark red beets. I got 2 rows of them. And I got a few purple top globe turnips. I got 1 row of them. This is the herb garden, but last year I used it for a lot of root vegetable stuff, so I don't really need the whole garden for herbs. I've already got a lot of herbs that I want planted on the other side over here. So I'm using this side, and I'll probably use the end here in a minute. I'll show you guys what I'm planting. I'm gonna plant a few more carrots over there, and I got some more radishes, and I also got a couple of oregano to still plant over here, and maybe I'll throw some chives in one of those holes and get some chives growing. So that's the plan. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna cut into this plastic. I just use these bricks as weights since I ran out of staples. So I just throw the bricks on there, keep the plastic down, and I'm just cutting rows just wide enough to where I think when the greens come up from all these vegetables, they'll shade out the rest of the ground and keep the weeds down. I don't want them too wide, otherwise we'll have a big weed problem again. Miss Mia's gonna film. We'll show you guys how I do that. For these rows over here, since there were more of them, I used boards. I just use those on either side as a way to kind of keep my burn line a little cleaner. This side, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna freehand it. Just go slow with the torch. You know, you slip or fall with this thing, you're putting a big old hole in your plastic. So just go slow, turn your torch down. It'll work. And just an FYI, this is not a big garden patch right here. This is like my smallest garden, but you wouldn't believe how much food you can grow in just a garden this size. I mean, it's probably 15 foot long by like 10 foot or something. It's nothing crazy. So you can pack a lot of food in here. Just try to keep it somewhat organized. You know, I just got these big long rows of stuff, and I just plant a whole row of something. So if you don't have a lot of space, it's not a big deal. If you don't have a huge garden, you can still grow a lot of food for yourself in a small area. Some people are more careful with their plastic because they're gonna reuse it a bunch of times. This is the first year I've really used a bunch of plastic like this. I'm just trying different things, seeing what works, and then next year I'll probably put new plastic over everything, and I'll probably be a little more careful about how I lay it down. I'll leave open rows in between everything. This year I'm just kind of experimenting with it, see what's easy, what's not, what's a good idea, what's bad. Get your little plastic in between. Pull that out here. Now we've got 2 rows here. I'll put some more radishes in, and maybe some carrots. All right, here's what we got for radishes. We got some sparkler radish and some early scarlet globe radish. I think these get a little bit bigger. These are a little smaller. I'm gonna get my ridge hoe. This is all I'm using. A lot of this stuff that I plant in this garden, the reason why I plant it together is I plant it all pretty similar. Right? You just use this, and we're just gonna scratch in a little 1/4-inch trench through that row, plant our seeds, and then just pull the little bit of dirt that's there back over it. A lot of the stuff planted in here doesn't need to be planted very deep. 1/4-inch, 1/8 of an inch, something like that. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. You don't have to go crazy. It's super simple, guys. Just scratch a hole in the ground. Plant this kind of stuff can just go right under the surface. There's radish seed. So I'm just taking these, and I'm kind of just hitting a salt bay with the seeds. So I'm just kind of lightly rolling them between my fingers. I don't have any fancy little tools or anything. I just kind of sprinkling them along in that little trench. If they're too thick when they start coming in, we'll just go through and thin them out. It only takes, you know, on a row this size, it'll take maybe 5 minutes to thin out the row. It's not a big deal. No, don't nobody want to do that, but I'd rather spend less time doing this and just thin the row out. That's just me personally, though. Everybody's different. Pretty much all radishes grow super fast. I mean, they're pretty much ready to harvest pretty quick. Something like a radish, you can just come through and scratch another row in right after it's done growing. I mean, they grow so quickly, it's just, you can keep doing successive plantings of them. I don't know, it depends how much you like radish. This is all I'm doing for whenever I'm tagging anything in the garden. So we just planted our sparkler radishes. I got the 12-inch landscape staples that I use for the fabric, and I just kind of came up with this year. It works pretty well. Get some white duct tape or whatever color you prefer and a Sharpie. And I'm just gonna go around that once, twice, something like that. And then I'm gonna start down here, a little overlap. And we'll go around once or twice again. And then I'm gonna take the whole thing and I'm gonna put just a tiny bend in it. And then we're just gonna write whatever it is on there. Sparkler radish. Now we're just gonna come over here and stick this in the ground. Boom. Got you a nice little tag. Just use stuff I already had. Just came up with something on the spot when I needed some tags. Okay, now we got early scarlet globe radishes. Okay, I'm gonna get you a bunch of chives going.
Do you like chives?
Well, you can dehydrate them, or you can put them in other canned stuff, you know.
I'll dehydrate them.
So I'll just do like a thick row of chives right there. It's right there by the herbs anyway. You know what I mean? Make rice seasoning out of it, mix it with some sesames, you put it in the dehydrator. You can make chives are expensive. So you know, you go to the store and you get the little plastic thing of chives. It's like $7, and you can just grow a whole row of them that just keep coming.
We got dill, curled parsley, sage, rosemary, Italian parsley, oregano, peppermint.
There's a lot of stuff this year I'm just direct seeding because some of this stuff I put out I think a little bit too early. It got pretty cold there a couple days, and at night it was like freezing. So some of this stuff's struggling a little bit that I transplanted, but I'm hoping that it warms up here, it'll kind of bounce back and start to take off. Remember, white duct tape, 12-inch staple, white duct tape, take it on your hand or on the edge of something and just give it a little tiny bend, and you get a nice little waterproof garden tag. Maybe I'll make these and sell them. Yeah, you think you'd be able to find stuff like this more. Like, I mean, I'm sure you can, but they want an arm and a leg for it, right? Like, I was looking at some garden tag system. It was overcomplicated, overpriced, and built out of cheap plastic garbage. This is metal and duct tape. Duct tape's durable, and you could just reuse them over and over. Simple. Once I get all these planted today, I'll put my impact sprinkler on there, and I'll just soak all these in. We did get some pretty good rain the last few. Oh, that's another thing. I transplanted a lot of these colder weather crops, but it got super cold, and then we had some insane thunderstorms at night several days in a row, and it just beat everything to hell out here. All these little bitty transplanted plants, not very big, the wind just thrashed the hell out of them. So some of them ain't doing very well, but they'll bounce back probably. If not, I'm going through and I'm planting seeds behind everything just to make sure we get a crop of everything that I want. Let's go put them in. The chive seeds are pretty small. And by pretty small, I mean minuscule. Smaller than like an onion seed, but even smaller. So I'm gonna be careful with these. I'm just gonna sprinkle them in. And I'm just gonna barely put any dirt back over these. These don't take much to cover them up. Remember, y'all, I'm not covering these much. A little 1/4 inch, maybe even less than that. All right, that's it, y'all. There's a little planting of the herb garden. Herbs on that side, root vegetables over here. I am gonna do one. I found a variety of carrots I didn't plant over there in the big garden, so I'm just gonna stick that on the end there. We'll stick some.
Call them the hater carrots.
Those are gonna be the hater carrots. You know them hate comments? I told y'all I was gonna be planting more stuff every time I hear some hate, man. We just got a whole road of carrots in for the haters, man. Y'all gotta quit hating, man. I got enough of my own problems, man. Y'all gotta quit hating on the boy. Just let me live. All right, later, y'all. Love, peace, chicken grease.